Welcome to another episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Joseph Bonanno.
Process.
I've seen people go through
Anyway,
it. I have
I was
friends
going
that
to
did
use
it.
a expletive, but it's not. It's you get these people that promise you all this stuff, and it's just like, hey, give me 5,000, and I'll turn it into 50 for you. I say, hey, no, here's the product. Why don't you give me 5,000, and when you make 50, we'll split it, or you can 80-20, whatever the deal was. But I never got to that point.
Yeah.
So since then, you've been trying to figure what else to do. Kind of gave up, right? It's like, what are we going to do now? And then along comes this whole podcast sphere that kind of has blown up. And a friend of mine from when we used to play Pop Warner football, he had a nephew that was interested in all this, and he reached out to me, and he's making all these connections happen, and he's inspired me. And I said, yeah, let's do this. Let's figure something out. So now it's happening. So yeah, now we have to come up with a plan. I know content is king, so I can provide a lot of content. I'm trying to develop some merchandise, some hoodies, and because I look at Francese and Sammy the Bull, they're selling merchandise, and apparently they're doing pretty well with that. And so why not get in on that? And if I can get my own show, I don't know, I could carry my own show, but I do have a lot of connections with people within our family who all have interesting stories and different interesting takes that might interest some people. So
Yeah, it's a different take on things instead of always from the criminal aspect of things. I want to hear from the people who weren't on the criminal side of it and the way it affected you, like your father going to prison. How did that affect you?
Well, when you're a kid and your father's in prison, you ask why. And I had issues as far as my behavior. I had, short tempered. I was a hothead. And when you don't feel like there's anybody there, dad's not around. So, who's going to stop me? You get it.
Yeah. And then here comes grandma with the spoon.
Well, then, right. And they talk about wooden spoons. I mean, they use rolling pins. So they're Sicilian. They didn't mess around.
Did your grandma call it sauce or gravy?
Yeah, she called it sauce. Yeah, and they always called it sauce. So, but I know we have relatives, in Rhode Island that would disagree with that. So, but in our family, it was always sauce.
So, do you remember the last big holiday you guys spent as a family with your dad and everything?
The last big holiday, wow. Not any one specific, but I know that my dad, he was always having these gala events, from my sister's first wedding to my grandfather's 90th birthday, his 95th birthday, my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. I mean, just at the 50th wedding anniversary, it was at a resort in Tucson, and just pretty much everybody we knew had ever known, it seemed like had gotten a room and was there, and enjoyed that party, and it was great. It was great food, open bar, and just everything was top notch, first class, and it was at the El Conquistador. I don't know if you're familiar with that in Tucson, but
no, I'm from the East Coast, man. I'm from Connecticut.
Well, it's just one of those quintessential, resorts in Tucson at the base of the Catalina Mountains, and it's just it was a great party. So those I remember more than specific holidays. And there was an Easter back in the 70s where 60 Minutes filmed us.
I have a clip of that. I can incorporate it into this video. I'm going to talk to the guy who
you'll see my mug. It was much thinner then, of course, but I'm in that clip. If it's the one I'm thinking, it's the most popular one. And
with the whole family sitting around, right?
Right. Yeah, that was Easter at my cousin's house.
Here, let me see if I can.
It's like 79 or something like that. I don't remember exactly when, but
this it right here. You guys are all sitting around.
Yeah, that's it. That's
I got to ask the guy permission. Can you see it or no?
I just
Oh,
see
oh wait, hold on, hold
12
on.
of them.
It was the wrong one.
But that 60 minutes clip that goes right into it. The first one that I was seeing.
Well,
That's your dad right there,
Yeah,
right?
why
yeah.
did you like him?
foi his character, foi his approach, foi his, the way I handle myself, the way
Oh,
his
that was
general appearance.
1983.
I never know Capone from inside.
Charles Lucky Luciano. What was his power? What was his talent? What kind of a man?
He believed to make money.
Here, let me see if I can.
It's like 79 or something like that. I don't remember exactly when, but
This it right here. You guys are all sitting around.
yeah, that's it. That's
I got to ask the guy permission. Can you see it or no?
I just see
Oh wait, hold on,
12
hold
of
on.
them.
It was the wrong one.
But that 60 minutes clip that goes right into it. The first one that I was seeing.
Well,
That's your dad right there,
Yeah.
right?
why did you like him?
Foi his character, foi his approach, foi his, the way I handle myself, the way
Oh,
his
that was
general appearance.
1983.
I never know Capone from inside.
Charles Lucky Luciano. What was his power? What was his talent? What kind of a man?
He believed to make money.
What's wrong with his wanting money? I mean, Bonanno wanted money.
Bonanno claims that he made money in the more traditional
What is
way
it
of
like to
gambling
hear
and
his
bootlegging,
voice now?
while Luciano went
after-
for the big payday, making
You know,
his money through narcotics, prostitution.
remember
extortion.
standing there while they were doing
Here
that.
you have
in
two
the
young-
background watching the interview, right? And it just just pops up memories. It's weird. You don't think of that, but I remember that, especially because I laughed and they had to, they shushed me when he said he liked Al Capone because he was a jovial character.
That's awesome that you remember all that, man. That you have those memories with him,
Right.
And I think you could do big things in the podcast world. I think you just have to navigate it right and get a plan and conquer it, man. And I think you can do big things.
So it's all about monetizing it somehow, right? And that's what I guess what I'm trying to figure out. Because it's hard for me to think, well, how much interest is there really? But what I'm finding is there's a lot, right?
I have almost 4,000 subscribers, and I'm just one person. And there's tons of people out there with other channels with
right
more subscribers than me. I mean,
and they're reaching out and they're starting to reach out to me, and it's really just been a grassroots thing that's kind of so I'm going with it. I'm going to try to catch the wave. So yeah, I'd be open to any guidance or suggestions. But
I can help you any way I can. I could try to steer you in the right direction.
Well, maybe at some point we'll have a non-filmed conversation.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to give away all my secrets on here.
Well, yeah. Right.
But yeah, man, I really appreciate you taking the time, and I hope we can get on here for another part 2. I have to go to this event for these officers that passed away in the line of duty in my town. It's a terrible tragedy, but I really appreciate you taking the time, and I look forward to having more conversations with you.
Yeah, great. So when are you going to broadcast this at some point, or
yeah,
we're going to be show notes? I'd like to put a link to where.
Yeah, I'll put a link for it and everything. I'll do the outro and then I'll stop the recording and then we'll talk. All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for joining me today. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out before we go?
I'd like to, shout out to my kids and my nephews who, last time I was on a podcast, they knew the podcaster, and I'm sure they'll see this. So there's a shout out to all them.
Cool, man. Thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time. And make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Till next time. Thanks again, man.